One of the great triumphs of the 20th century was quantum mechanics, but it's an incomplete theory. The interpretation of it, in particular, is still to be done. And this shows up in many ways. For example, Bryce DeWitt and Everett developed the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics, which suggests that there's one master, gigantic wave function that includes everything in the entire universe. And this leads to everything being possible. So you'd say, well, what in the world do I get out of this? Well, what you get out of it is the interpretation that there are timelines that can be close to one another in the sense that just minor differences from one timeline to the next. And then there are major timeline courses that lead to very different histories, such as the CIA discovering that when they did hypnotic regression on many past people with past lives, they discovered that there were a number of people that had claimed that the South won the U.S. Civil War, not the North. And yet the timeline that we're in is where the Northers won the Civil War. So there's one huge timeline that we're in and another one that has the South winning. It's still there, but it'll probably merge with ours at some point. And so it goes. So it's the interpretation of how these things work, the clustering and the emergence of these different threads. And what comes out of all this is that consciousness is that each of us has a piece of the collective unconscious, and that this can influence these timelines and how they behave. And this is shown by the fact that the quatrains of Nostradamus predict an antichrist that would be in the 1980s, 1990s. And this never happened in this timeline. So enough people came to the realization that was terrible that they drove that timeline away. And that's possible through the fact that our consciousness can control the underlying forces that lead to all of this.